Welcome back or welcome if you're new. My name is Lady Snow, owner of Lady Snow Meditation. Sorry for being late. I had a lot going on this week. Um in this week's video is on boundaries with living with people. So if you live with someone, this is on boundaries. Okay, the first thing I want to mention is make sure it's someone that you can place boundaries with before they move in. So this can be regards to letting somebody live with you, but keep in mind sometimes this can be regards to choosing to move in with someone, whether on a lease or whether not on a lease. I would suggest, if you can, try to live with someone that's not on a lease before you commit to a lease, because you never know how people act, and people can be the nicest people in person, and sometimes um when you live together they're not the same. They change personalities or something like that. Let me tell you about a couple people that I let stay with me. So I knew this person that I was pretty much friends with. I felt like I was. I don't think it was the same way, honestly. It I would babysit for her all the time. And then when she started living with me, for a little bit, helping her out, her child started damaging my apartment, and then suddenly I wasn't even allowed to say anything to a child, when before I could say whatever I needed to a child. If a child was misbehaving, suddenly I couldn't, because um and she was like, "You don't trust me." It's not that. And yeah, sometimes people really change, or sometimes people say they'll pay you for living with them, for letting them stay with you, and they never do, or stuff like that. So you got to be prepared for that. Personally, if you want to keep a good friendship, don't live with them. That's my advice. But this video is based for boundaries with living with people. Yeah, so and when uh, another good tip to knowing if you can live with someone is, definitely if you're like getting in a serious relationship, or like getting engaged or something, you can always do 3 nights at your house, 3 nights at their house, and maybe 2 nights apart or something like that, or something a little along those lines. Or you can move into a hotel, depending on what kind of hotel it is, and live together. See how that works. Um, if you're not sure about somebody, even if they're family, even if they're a close friend, if they're your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, um, if you're not sure, don't do it. That is what I want to really tell you. If you're not sure, it doesn't matter who it is. If you're not sure on how they might react, or act, or treat you, or mistreat you, don't do it. Or if you feel way too sure about it, that's another sign. Because people personalities will always change a little bit. Um, and like me, don't, I used to help people all the time. I don't help people no more. And I choose not to live with people. The next person I'll live with is a fiance or husband or wife. I'm not picky. But yeah, I'm not about, oh, a child. Like, I want to be a foster mother. So a child is different than an adult, though. But for me, then it's also important to ask yourself if you want to live with anyone before you do, because sometimes it could be like you want to be nice, or you want to have somebody to talk to, or this or that, or and maybe you don't actually want somebody to live with you. Do you enjoy your independence or solitude more? If you do, you're more about um living with yourself. And then be clear with your boundaries, and you have to set good values and boundaries um before. You have to know, if you're guessing your boundaries or values, you really should not have other people live with you, because if you don't know your boundaries, and if you don't know your own values, and you don't know how to be strict about that, then that's a bad sign. It doesn't matter if they're the nicest person in the world. If you don't know how to set boundaries, and you don't know how to be strict to some degree, not mean strict, but just strict, then you shouldn't let people move in with you. And it's not always on them. Sometimes it's on you, like you don't know how to set boundaries, so you shouldn't let them live with you. And you need to have your own house rules. House rules can be anything from, I don't like shoes in my house, to okay, I want to pay the electric, or half the rent, or a quarter of the rent, or I want you paying for food, it's or I want you to cook and I will clean. Um and when it comes to having somebody ask you to move in with them, you really should look into why they want you to move in with you, why they want you to move in with them, and see if you have a solid friendship, because some people just like controlling others, or being or taking advantage of others. That can go both ways. Somebody moves in with you, takes advantage of you. You move in with somebody and they're abusive or something. So you need to be aware that people are not always the way they say they are. Um, so keep your confidence up before. If you don't have enough confidence, you really should not be living with someone, because your confidence is a big part of what helps you set boundaries. So if you're not confident in yourself, you can't be efficient with setting boundaries with people, regardless of if you really care about them or not. You need to be confident. If you don't know how to talk to people, you can write it down before you get to them, or even or you can write it down and read it off when you're with them, or um or if you really don't know how to talk to people, you can talk in a mirror and say it to yourself a bunch of times, and that makes it possible to talk to people if you talk in a mirror or vent to someone. Not vent, but like talk to a different person and practice the way you would say it. But I would practice a couple different ways because people react in different ways and don't expect it to go off friendly. If you talk about your boundaries before they move in and they get um rude, that's a big sign you shouldn't let them stay with you. If you set your boundaries before and they don't want to be respectful, don't let them move in with you, or don't move in with them, because like I said, it goes both ways. um and then meditate daily, because meditation is a good way to keep your boundaries up, keep your confidence up. And then it also, yeah, helps you be more vocal. Before, um I've been meditating for years now, but before I was meditated, I was not so um vocal with my confidence and telling people, that's not okay. And meditation is great for that. So any type of active meditation, like yoga, qigong, tai chi, and there was a number of different kinds. I mean, in Qigong, there was over 10,000 different kinds of Qigong. So just because one movement don't work for you doesn't mean another won't. So Qigong is more like you stand still and move your like arms or body, but you stand still. Tai Chi is more like actually moving, and so yoga has its own movements too, and that wasn't a yoga move. I was just doing whatever, being weird. I- I'm not a yoga instructor, so I don't know yoga specifically, but I know it's a form of meditation. And keep in mind that I will, um, oh, sorry, be alright with walking away or kicking someone out if they're disrespectful. Um, Sometimes be aware that you're going to fight. So if you ever move in with someone, I would make sure, this sounds so weird, but I would, if you want to move in with someone, I would, make sure it's someone you have already had a fight with, and your relationship or your friendship or whatever can withstand a fight, because some people are just really petty people, and like if you fight once, your friendship is just done. And honestly, to be quite honest, that's not a realistic friendship. A friendship you can fight and make up. I'm not saying you should fight all the time. Okay, that's a bad friendship. But um a good and healthy friendship, even if you do fight, you make up. Like, I have this friend that I never fought with. Like, ever. Like, we never fought. But the thing is, I guess I said something that upset her, and she just stopped talking to me altogether. I had a couple friends like that we never fought, and then apparently something set them off, and they never spoke to me again. And I'm just like, what? So, I'm not saying fighting is good, but if you have never been in a fight, the and made up, then I don't know if you should move in together. I'm pretty sure it might be a bad idea for that. But yeah, and like I said in the beginning of the video, if you can't sometimes it can ruin a friendship, and sometimes with your boundaries, if you have suitable boundaries, some people might lie and say yes, yes, that's okay with me, but when they move in, they're going to push your boundaries, push past your boundaries a lot. So you need to be ready to kick someone out if they're not respectful of you or your space or how you want to live or coexist together. So you need to be ready for possibly kicking somebody out or possibly moving or because that sometimes happens. And if it was originally your house, or if they're not on the lease or something like that, then you should also be prepared if the friendship doesn't work out to kick them out. I'm just being straight up honest. Um, but I also do want to mention that this ties into my original topic, the very first topic I've ever made. So refer to my boundary video for more detail, and I will put a link to that below, link to my boundary video. But that's specific to just boundaries, so it's not specific to living with people, but it ties into it because of it being boundaries. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share my video, and click the bell notification to stay updated. Also, like me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram as well. I also have a fan page on Facebook and Instagram that I will put a link to in the space below. I also have a fan mailbox now, so if you would like to, I would love to hear from you all too. So leave a comment below. You're welcome to ask any questions or suggest a topic as well. Oh, in the mailbox too is available for like if people want more private, like if you need help, one-on-one help with something, you can send me something in letter form, and I will always reply back to people. I haven't checked my inbox in like a month or something, but yeah, I will check my mailbox. So, yeah, but you can always message me and ask me for my advice on my fan mailbox or my fan um Instagram or fan Facebook as well. I will help you out. Yeah, and I really like right now it was really tough for me to think of a topics because I've been thinking of so many. Like I said, I have like 80 something topics on my channel, so I'm really running out of ideas. So if people could really hit me up with some ideas for topics they would like to see, that would be great. Any topics, like anything that relates to self improvement, domestic violence prevention, anything. Like, I'm pretty open to anything, and I know a lot about a lot of different things. So, yeah. So, if you need help with anything, next week's video is probably going to be on discrimination, kind of like that, because it was kind of requested. So I will probably do that, and then I might do leadership class as well. But let me know if you would like some videos. Um I'll see you next Wednesday at 8 a.m. Love you all and have a wonderful day.